What's up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia. Today I'm covering the fall and winter transition set of testers that are coming in the Scentsy catalog. This includes returning scents as well as new releases that were not in the spring and summer. So what I did was I had a haul video and I asked, did you guys want to hear a video on just the new releases or all of the transition testers? And it was an overwhelming majority of all the transition testers. Now, when I receive my bars of the 10 new release scents that I earned through an incentive, I will kind of go over those once I receive the bars, and you'll kind of get a little mini video of the 10 new releases that way. But this video is going to be in alphabetical order. I do have some bars and I have some testers. I have not smelled the new releases. This will be my first sniffs. I will go a little bit more in depth on the new releases, and I will go a little bit more concise with the ones that are returning. Remember, when you have a tester, you can only smell the top. And if you're aware, the bars sometimes smell different on the bottom versus the top. So personally, I like the bars, but I won't get those for a little bit. So you can always tune into my Tester Tuesday videos where we will be drawing and reviewing and sniffing out all of the new to the catalog scents for this season over a 6-week time frame, a little more in depth. Please stay tuned at the end of the video where I will be discussing the scents that were in last fall and winter's catalog that did not make the cut into this fall and winter catalog. So let's get started. Okay, the very first scent we're going to discuss is Apple and Cinnamon Sticks. I happen to have a bar of this one. This is in the spice category and it's a bestseller. Scentsy says apple peel, spiced white pumpkin, and a touch of oak. This is a strong, long-lasting scent. It's not your typical apple cinnamon. That oak changes it up. The white pumpkin just gives it a little twist, almost like a gentle pumpkin, not a traditional pumpkin. And the cinnamon is fairly intense, I would say a mid-level, but it's almost got a little bit of a cologne or masculine twist to this. Just a touch, enough to make it different and fancy. So that is Apple and Cinnamon Sticks, an outstanding performer. So the next scent we have is Arctic Kiss. This is a new to the catalog scent, but not new to us because we've seen this as a scent of the month from December of 2020. This is in the fresh category, and it says, cool Arctic mint and fresh air embrace the warmth of fluffy vanilla clouds. This is a strong and very long-lasting scent, and another outstanding performer. It's very different and unique. It's got like a fresh twist for sure. I think there's melon in here. You don't really get mint the way you think you're going to. It gives it a fresh air quality. There's definitely a vanilla. There's almost like a soapiness to it, a laundry type tinge. It's very hard to explain, but I love it. That is Arctic Kiss. Highly recommend. All right, the next scent we have is Around the Campfire. This was a new release last season and it's returned. It's in the woods section. Scentsy says, make some memories in the mountain air as notes of fresh fallen wood and smoky embers help set the scene. So this is definitely a smoky scent, but this is an excellent mixer. Okay, it smells like you're in a cabin and you've just started a fire and you're just getting a little whiffs of smoke. You can smell the wood cabin, and then you can kind of go outside on your little deck or porch and smell the fresh, vibrant air at the same time. Combine all those things and that is Around the Campfire. It's definitely different than Palo Santo. It's really, really unique in the sense that it does really help when it's a mixer. I've mixed this with like marshmallow mint, vanilla mint, a whole bunch of different things, sugar, and it's really nice. Just a small quantity added to another scent. Some people like this on its own. So it's definitely a woodsy scent, definitely a little smoky, but really, really nice. And this was in my Scentsy Club last year. Okay, so next we have Autumn Hearth. This is in the spice category, and this has been around for 2 to 3 seasons in the fall and winter. And Scentsy says, cue up a classic. Apple, cinnamon, and tonka are all about fall. I believe tonka is a little bit of a complex, not quite a vanilla, but almost like a honeyed vanilla sweet kind of thing going on. Yes, and it definitely does add to that apple and the cinnamon. It's a really nice quintessential fall scent. When my mom warms this, it smells absolutely wonderful in her house. And it smells just great. In my house, it doesn't seem to perform quite as strongly as in her home, but this is a really, really nice one. So like I said, there's apple, cinnamon, and tonka. So you're gonna see repeating notes over and over, but this one is a really nice one to go and grab if you haven't tried it. All right, the next scent is Autumn Road Trip, and this is in the fruity section. This is a returning scent from last season when it was a new release. Scentsy says, take a tour through crisp harvest apple, just pick ANJOU pear, and a forest of towering silver oak. Yes, you can definitely get, I smell pumpkin in here too. I swear there's pumpkin. They say apple and pear and oak, but I smell pumpkin. So I think sometimes there's additional notes that we can pick up on that they don't often include because the scent description would be really, really long. But this is a scent that is a little bit of a muted version of Painted Leaves. If you like that scent, you might want to take a chance on Autumn Road Trip. It's kind of a fresh, fruity scent, so very pleasant, nice, and a pretty good performer. Okay, so the next scent we have, I don't have a bar of it, but I do have my tester, and it is Autumn Sunset. And this is in the spice section, and Scentsy describes this as apples, pumpkins, fall leaves, and spices, a top 10 fragrance. So this one is very much your quintessential fall spicy potpourri scent to me. It's intense on the cinnamon, a little bit like towards the red hot cinnamon potpourri as well. You don't really get a lot of leaves. If they are, they're the dried leaves. It's a medley of scents that combines to give you a traditional spicy fall scent. So definitely fitting to be in the spice category. For me, it's about an average performer. It's not as strong as you think it's going to be, but if you're sensitive to spice, I would avoid Autumn Sunset. So that one has been around for a while. The next scent we have, I do have in bar form, is Be Merry. And this was a former scent of the month from December 2018, I believe. And that was the first year I was a consultant. So this is in the wood section. Scentsy says, it says, joy abounds in pine boughs dotted with holly leaf and cassis. So to me, I always describe this as a 50-50 scent. There's about a 50% fruit, which really reads like a juicy, deep cranberry. A tiny bit bright, but a little bit of a rich, deep cranberry berry note. And then there's another 50% that's the pine and the holly. And the holly just brings it up a notch, so it's not just basic pine. So this is a really nice fragrance. It's strong starting out. It doesn't last a very long time for me, but it's worth the payoff. It's a really good, feel-good kind of scent for the holidays. Something to warm in December for sure. So that is Be Merry. I really like that one. The next scent we have is a scent that has come from the, I don't know what it was called, the holiday trio perhaps of scents. And this one is Berry Blessed. And I have warmed a bar of this, but I don't have a strong recollection of this. This is in the fruity section, and Scentsy says, soft vanilla and cranberry sprinkled with sparkling sugar is pure bliss. And it's very tangy. It's got a, not quite an effervescence, but a juicy tang. And I always say I feel like there's a tiny bit of grapefruit in here. I feel like you can definitely smell berries. And there's a little note that is very similar as a note in blue agave and melon. They're related somehow, but this is very bright, uplifting, vibrant. It doesn't necessarily seem like only a fall winter scent to me. You could probably warm this year round. And from my memory, I remember this was fairly strong. I don't remember how long it lasted, but that is Berry Blessed. It's made its way into the catalog. All right, next we have Best in Snow. I only have a tester of this. I think this might be year 2 for this. Scentsy says, frosted evergreen, cool mint, and a breath of pure icy air posed together in a prize-winning winter snapshot. And this one is a bright, icy air, minty, fresh, uplifting scent. Some people say it reminds them a little bit of chewing gum. I can see that. Or even mouthwash. Yes, it's a nice, vibrant, clean type winter scent. Really nice and uplifting. So that is Best in Snow. All right, now we have a new release. So again, I'm waiting on my bars, but here we have, it's called Blue Sage and Tonka. So this one, I believe, is in the woods section. So I have to read you these tiny little writings. It says, revel in the richness of midnight sage and black lavender over the sultry sweetness of tonka bean. And I'm telling you, this is the one that's making me a little nervous because I don't do the greatest with sage. I'm on lavender and Tonka would provide a little bit of sweetness, I think, complexity, but here we go. Oh, it's kind of liquidy. Okay, so it's light in intensity for me. This is really pleasantly surprising for me. I actually don't mind this. So normally with sage scents, they're very green and earthy and almost like that herbal twinge of greenness. This doesn't really have that. It must be a blue sage, must be slightly different. I don't know if there's a variety of blue sage or blue implies masculine, like blue sugar plus sage. I don't know. It just smells like almost like a clean sage with a basic lavender, not necessarily soapy or herbal, but just a nice neutral type lavender. And the Tonka just gives it a little bit of depth to me. This is pretty pleasant, but very soft. So this would probably be good in a bedroom or maybe a bathroom or a small living space. So that is blue, sage, and Tonka. Okay, so the next scent we have is in the bakery section, and it is Breakfast in Bed. I don't have a bar of this, but I have warmed this before in bar form. Scentsy describes this as wake up to warm pumpkin pastry filled with black raspberry and topped by a sweet cinnamon drizzle. I definitely get pumpkin. To me, it's not overly sweet in the sense. You get a little bit of a pastry, but the pumpkin seems more prominent to me. I don't get a ton of cinnamon, there's a little. I get a little backdrop of maple and I get a little backdrop of like coffee. Almost like a medley of things going into your breakfast in bed. From memory, this was fairly strong in some locations and not as strong in others. So it was hit or miss for me, but most people find this quite strong. So again, returning from last year, that is Breakfast in Bed. All right, the next one puts a smile on my face. I definitely love this one. It is from the Harvest 2020 collection. It's made its way into the catalog, and it is Bright Cider Life. Scentsy has put this in the fruity category, but this is spiced harvest cider, comes to life with luscious pumpkin and a slice of red apple. So I always say like there's team pumpkin and team apple, and which one are you? Well, this is kind of like both in one, but there's way more layers to this scent. It's so different. I love it. It's definitely a fall scent, but I know a lot of people that warm this year round because it's very nice. There's definitely a spicy undertone to it. Highlighted, I would say, by allspice. I don't really get cinnamon. I get clove and allspice with this. So if you like the scent Cozy Spice, it's almost like that kind of spice undertone. But there's almost like a bakery or vanilla or a toasted something going on here. Almost reminds me of like the muffin that you wanted in Walnut Raisin Muffin. It's in here. Very nice, hard to explain, definitely worth a gamble. Even if you're not sure if you're gonna like it, definitely pick this one up and give it a try. And if you don't like it, you can message me and, you know, curse me out. That's Bright Cider Life. All right, so the next scent we have is also a former scent of the month, but it's been around for a couple of seasons, and it is Caramel Apple Craze. Scentsy has put this in the fruity section. It says creamy, golden caramel, sweet, red, delicious apples, and whipped vanilla invite you to be a trick or treater again. And I always think this could be in the bakery, but it's actually in the fruity. So the caramel is definitely there and the apple is definitely there. It's a little bit different than a MAC apple. It's a red delicious, so it's a tiny bit less punchy and like in your face, but it's still pretty strong. There's a tiniest bit of undertone of maple cream in this, but very minimal, so you may not pick up on that, but I do because I'm not a huge maple fan. But this scent has really come around for me. At first I was kind of iffy on it, but now I really like it. It's because it's strong. I like strong scents that I can put in my open layout, and this one you definitely can. Really nice in September or October or even August, depending. Definitely strong enough for an open floor plan, so that is Caramel Apple Craze. Okay, the next scent is also a new release. It is Cashmere and Corduroy. This is almost like a pinkish red wax. This would be in the wood section. Let me read you the scent description. Scentsy says, wrap yourself up in the coziness of creamy vanilla, Sicilian bergamot, and cashmere sandalwood. I don't know, we're gonna see. Oh, it's soft, but I love it. The bergamot is very muted in here. It's not intense citrus. So sometimes mixed with other notes that can read perfumey or cologne-y. This reads perfect. Like, this is so cozy. I feel like if you like Pacific Sandalwood, you're gonna like this. Oh, but it's so soft. Like I'm breathing in trying to smell it. You can definitely smell sandalwood, but it's almost like a sweet sandalwood. Oh, this is freaking awesome. This is gonna be a fantastic bedroom scent, but you might need to put it in a really hot warmer. That is Cashmere and Corduroy. I'm really looking forward to this one. Okay, so the next scent we have is Cedar Cider. This is a really big winning scent in my home because all of my family has given it their stamp of approval, and it's the only Scentsy scent that they have ever done that with. So Scentsy has this in the wood section, and they say an autumn medley of the reddest apples, cinnamon sticks, and vanilla bean nestled among fragrant white cedar branches. So white cedar is a little bit more gentle than regular cedar, but it's perfectly done here. This is a really nice fall, a really nice autumnal scent. You can definitely get the apples, a little tiny bit of the spice. The vanilla just kind of creeps in and softens it. And I feel like there's just a smidge of pumpkin in here, but very minor. So that is Cedar Cider. It's really nice. Some people might think it's a little masculine. I don't. I think it's perfect the way it is. It reads very sophisticated and elegant, so a really nice scent if you're trying to impress someone special. That's Cedar Cider. Okay, the next scent we have is a bestseller, and it is Christmas Cottage. I do have this in a brick, but I didn't want to dig it out. So this is in the spice section. It says, a cozy, inviting blend of Valencia oranges, raspberries, cloves, and spices. And this is definitely cinnamon heavy. And you definitely get a little bit of tang of orange and the brightness from the raspberry. But you definitely have to like spice to like this one, but this is a huge, popular bestseller. It's about a medium to medium plus in intensity, and for me, it's about an average duration for how long it lasts, but I would definitely not think, it wouldn't be a winter season without melting some Christmas Cottage, so definitely going on my warming list this year. All right, the next scent we have is also another bestseller, and it is Cider Mill. I have another broken clamshell here. All right, Scentsy has put this in the spice section. They say, brings together fresh apples, crushed pumpkin, and simmering spices for a cozy autumn treat. This scent gets tons of compliments. When you warm this scent, you're gonna get a compliment from somebody. Wait for it. It's a perfect balance of a bright, juicy cider with the little tiniest bit of spice. Some people don't get spice. I can smell spice, and I love spice, so this really hits the spot. Like I said, it's bright, it's fall, it's not too heavy, it's just perfectly done. That is Cider Mill. All right, the next scent we have is Cinnamon Bear. Cinnamon Bear is in the spice section. It is also a bestseller. Scentsy says, crisp, spicy cinnamon with a touch of cloves. And in the past, they used to say, just like the bear candy or something. And that's because that's what it smells like. If you like spicy, red, hot cinnamon, with not too much else going on, then you want to get this. And you can use this to mix in that kind of note in with many other fragrances if you want to bump up the intensity of cinnamon. And believe it or not, there are many people in the world that love, love, love cinnamon. There's also some that don't. So depending on what camp you fall in, you may or may not want to pick this one up. But this one is very, very strong, so remember that. I haven't warmed a lot of it, just a little bit, but I do enjoy cinnamon scents, so I'm okay with it, and that is Cinnamon Bear. Okay, so the next scent we have is a new release, and it is called Cinnamon Buttercream, and this is in the bakery section. Scentsy says, Italian buttercream and creamy mascarpone, scooped over cinnamon cake, combines sugar, spice, and everything nice. Okay, this is soft as well. I feel like there's a trend. It's very creamy. There's a little bit of it doesn't smell like cream cheese, but if you're scared of cream cheese, it's kind of in that family. A tiny tang from the mascarpone cheese. And the cinnamon is very light, but I think it's a bakery cinnamon. But it blends in very nice. I can definitely smell it. It's not as buttery as a lot of the buttercreams that we smell are, so this is really nice. I think it's going to be light though, but that is Cinnamon Buttercream. The next scent we have is Clove and Cinnamon. This is in the spice section, and Scentsy says classic scent of cinnamon sticks fused with cloves. So this is more clove heavy from my memory. Yes, very much clove heavy, and then you get the cinnamon. I would say like 2/3 clove and then cinnamon. So if you don't like clove, you don't want to pick this one up. It's really in here. See if I can get it out. I can't get it out. Take my word for it. Clove, mostly, cinnamon, and it's kind of like that spicy mid-level cinnamon. Maybe even veering towards like that potpourri red hot. So that is Clove and Cinnamon. All right, returning and a bestseller is Cozy Cardigan. So Cozy Cardigan is in the fresh section, and Scentsy says, find bedded bliss in layers of soft suede, blushing rose, and amber silk. And this is really a nice scent. Yes, yes, yes. Kind of hits all those. The blush suede is like, doesn't read masculine to me. It reads like a gentle feminine. The rose doesn't scream in your face floral at all because all those other notes kind of like muted a little bit. It's really, really pleasant and well done. Yes, a very soft, cozy scent. Something that you'd want to put in on a cold evening or a weekend, you know, cuddled up watching movies. This is a really good one. Great for a bedroom, great for a bathroom, or something that's like a baby's room even. That would be really nice. Cozy Cardigan. Very well done. The next scent we have is Dancing Sugar Plums. So Dancing Sugar Plums is a bestseller this year, and Scentsy has put it in the spice section. And it says, rich spiced plum falls right in step with visions of vanilla and sweet cinnamon apple. So yes, this is a little bit like black raspberry vanilla, except for there's more vanilla and there's a little bit of spice. That's what I get. Yeah, it's like a spicy black raspberry vanilla with a tiny bit more vanilla to kind of lessen the punch of that extreme like berry depth. But that's kind of what it comes across as to me. And this one is about a medium level performer in both strength and longevity. So that is Dancing Sugar Plums. All right, we have another new release here. We have Eucalyptus Wreath with a wrinkled, wrinkled sticker. And this is in the fresh section. Scentsy says, fresh eucalyptus is woven with juniper and adorned with frosted mint. Okay, so this one here, I would say it's soft to medium. I would think it would be a little stronger having eucalyptus and juniper and mint. This reads a little bit clean to me. I really like this, but it's not very strong. Almost like a little bit of a soapy characteristic, or like a men's shower soap that reminds you of those earthy tree notes with the eucalyptus. And the mint doesn't, it's not like a peppermint. It's not really like a spearmint, but it's kind of like a brightness in the background. You can still kind of tell it's mint. So this hopefully will be a good performer. I do like this one. Eucalyptus and Eucalyptus Wreath. Excuse me. The next scent we have is Farm Stand Pumpkin, and Scentsy has put this in the spice section. This says indulgent notes of fresh apple, cinnamon stick, pumpkin, and caramel. And I remember when I warmed this, I got a lot of caramel. I didn't get a lot of the spices, so I'm always kind of surprised with the category it's in. Yeah, I can definitely smell pumpkin and caramel, a little bit of apple, and not very much spice. Yeah, so that is Farm Stand Pumpkin. This has been around for many years. So if you're a pumpkin fan, you don't mind caramel, then I would definitely pick this one up. The next scent we have is First Day of Fall, and I think this is season 3 for this one. Scentsy has put this in the spice category as well. It says, all the best parts are here. Just pipped pumpkin, a breath of autumn woods, ground nutmeg, and a spicy dash of cinnamon. Yeah, and I think the nutmeg is kind of what differentiates this one from some of those other scents that we have. And you get a little tiny bit of freshness from the autumn woods. And you also get that pumpkin apple vibe, that traditional fall kind of scent. So it's a twist on some of the other ones, but I think if you like nutmeg and you like a little bit of freshness from the woods, then First Day of Fall would be a good one. From my memory, this is about a medium to a medium light for me personally. And I don't remember anything about longevity, but it's back, First Day of Fall. Okay, so we have 2 new releases coming up. We have Graham Cracker Crunch, and this is in the bakery section. So let me find you the scent description. Scentsy says, caramelized graham cracker layered with crunchy peanut butter and creamy vanilla bean. Let's see. Okay, so when you rub it, it really intensifies. But at first, when I didn't touch it at all, I would have said it was soft. It's about a medium now. I definitely smell the graham cracker, and to me, it's more like a peanut, not necessarily that traditional peanut butter that you're smelling. This is nice. It's almost like there's an underlying tiny bit of spice medley. Something, a little bit of something. What else is in it? Vanilla bean. That's probably just there creaming it out. It almost reminds me, I think maybe a touch of that sweet cream spice, but not as like cloyingly sweet. A little bit like relaxed in intensity. And definitely graham cracker, but with a nuttiness. The peanut butter doesn't scream like peanut butter sandwich kind of thing at all to me. Very nicely done, but I was kind of wondering how the peanut butter was going to play out, and it's not overbearing in this by any means. It's more of a peanut, graham cracker, a little bit of spice, a little bit of creaminess. All right, now we have Harvest Blessings, also a new release. This one is in the spice category, and Scentsy says, radiant apple, spiced pumpkin, and smooth oak embody everything you love about autumn. Oh! This is good. It's bright but spicy. I feel like it's like a spicier version of cider mill. A little more earthy. It's dry. It's kind of dry. Sorry. And intensity is about a medium. Not overly strong. I haven't had a really overly strong one yet, but I do like this one. I'm looking forward to that one. That is Harvest Blessings. So I think if you like cider mill and you definitely like a little more spice, then you definitely want to go with that one. The next one we have is Homestead Holiday. And this one is in the spice category. Scentsy says blood orange and cinnamon freshened by fir needle. And this is a scent that I like to warm every Christmas Eve into Christmas because it's almost like a tradition for me. I just really enjoy warming this scent. It's very, very sweaty. You definitely get a intense cinnamon, but you get the fir needle, and then you get a tang from the orange. But I would say cinnamon with the fir, and then a little brightness from the orange. It reminds me of an upscale craft store, one of those local craft stores that you like to support during the fall and winter season. And they wrap your items in a brown bag and put their little business card in, and the Christmas music's playing. That's this one. Really nice. I'm glad to see it back. I'm relieved. That's Homestead Holiday. Okay, so next we have Hug in a Mug. This is a returning scent. I think this has been around since about 2018 or so. This one is in the bakery section this year, and Scentsy describes this as curl up with chocolate, hazelnut, and cookie dough. And it's definitely like a nice soft milk chocolate. You definitely get the nuttiness of the hazel dough mixed with the cookie dough, the hazelnut and the cookie dough. They all mix together. But primarily chocolate, like a creamy, nutty, gentle chocolate. But this will survive an open layout, so it does just fine, but it's very creamy and cozy. Some people say it wears off fast. It lasts an average amount in my open layout for me, and that is Hug in a Mug. All right, next we have my preferred Christmas tree scent, straight and basic. It's Iced Pine. So this is in the wood section, and Scentsy says, as refreshing as I walk through newly fallen snow, green fir and pine kissed by icy peppermint. So it is fir and pine with peppermint. The peppermint is there to differentiate it from another scent we'll discuss here in a second. It's very strong. This is a boomer. So if you like really strong scents, you have a big open floor plan, then this might be one to go with during the time, especially if you have an artificial tree. This is a really, really strong one. That's Iced Pine. All right, next we have Jeweled Pomegranate. This was scent of the month, I believe, for November of 2020, and it's made its way into the catalog. And Scentsy has put this in the fruity category. It says, shimmering pomegranate sparkles with sugared mandarin and a twinkle of cinnamon. So I remember, it's like a deep, deep pomegranate, almost like Reed's Cranberry, a deep, rich, saturated scent. I feel like you do get a tiniest bit of spice, but sometimes you also get the tiniest bit of a tree note with this. Yes, if you liked cranberry garland, you may like jeweled pomegranate. And as you'll notice, cranberry garland has not come in this year. So stay tuned at the end of the video. We'll discuss the scents that did not make it this year, but jeweled pomegranate is being released in a lot of body care items. So Scentsy is probably anticipating that people are gonna like that. So I'm not sure about that myself, but jeweled pomegranate has made its way into the catalog this year. I remember it being long lasting, and I don't remember much of other than that. All right, next we have maple apple bourbon in the spice section. This is a definite strong scent, open concept worthy. It's juicy red apple and rich maple get in the holiday spirit with a splash of bourbon. So you don't really smell alcohol, and I think the reason they put it in the spice is because the bourbon gives it like a depth, a warmth. There's definitely maple and there's definitely apple. It's kind of like a creamy maple. The apple is muted a little bit by that caramel, maple scent. So if you like all those scents, then you definitely want to pick this up. This was really popular with a lot of my customers, and like I said, very strong. And I think it was a couple of days that I could warm it in my open layout, which is pretty good because most scents I can only keep about 1 day there. And so if you warm this in other areas, it would probably be fairly long lasting. So that's maple apple bourbon. Okay, so the next scent we have is in the fresh category, and it is Perfect Peppermint. And the description for this one, it says, cooler than most, pure peppermint is the popular kid you'll love to love. So for me, it's a peppermint with the tiniest bit of vanilla. Most people say it's just basic peppermint. I feel like there's just a beautiful vanilla twist to this, but very slight. But yes, if you like peppermint scents and you want a strong peppermint addition, you could add this to it, or you could warm this on its own. Very strong. I would say maybe a medium in an open layout and a little bit stronger in a smaller space. And sometimes peppermint scents, for me personally, they don't last a very long time, but they're nice and fresh and vibrant while they're going. So that's Perfect Peppermint. The next scent we have is Polar Bear Hug. I don't have a bar of this, but I have an old bar of Eskimo Kiss. So Polar Bear Hug is actually Eskimo Kiss renamed. So keep that in mind. So we'll smell, I'm going to smell them both side by side to make sure, but they're supposed to be identical. And it's in the, which section did they put it in? Fresh, I believe. Yes, fresh. So Polar Bear Hug is described as blackberry jam, caramelized brown sugar, vanilla and amber, and a softly romantic scent. So that's Eskimo Kiss. And I find the tester is very light compared to the bar. That's interesting. Yes, the bar is definitely stronger. So these testers are fairly new, so hopefully they will intensify. But Polar Bear Hug, it's a very romantic, hard to explain. It smells like a bright, airy, perfumey, and then you get the richness of the blackberry in a way that you don't expect. It's really hard to explain. It doesn't really smell like any of the notes. It kind of smells like a beautiful medley of all those notes into a body care type perfume fragrance, but also a wintry fragrance. So that is Polar Bear Hug, formerly known as Eskimo Kiss. All right, so we have another new release here. We have Pomegranate Prosecco, and this is in the fruity section. Scentsy describes this as delectable rosé berry and pomegranate add an effervescent splash to a flute of pink Prosecco. So they used to have a scent called Dazzling Pomegranate. I don't know if this is going to be like that. Somewhat like it. It's about a medium intensity. It's juicy and vibrant and airy. You can get a sweetness for sure. I don't really know if I get a lot of effervescence compared to Dazzling Pomegranate, so maybe a little bit less than that scent. But along that lines, I think a little bit more from the berry. I know there's what kind of berry? Rosé berry and pomegranate. It must be the rosé berry. That I really like this. Very sweet and tart and sweet at the same time, but I'd say sweet. I like it. I like it. Pomegranate Prosecco. We'll see how that one measures up. It seems about a medium there right now, so we'll see. All right, so we have a few scents coming up that I have bars for. So the first one is pumpkin chai. And this one is in the spicy category. It says, fill your cup with white pumpkin, a swirl of cinnamon, and a dash of chai. And I'm not into like a lot of like tea, coffee, all those kind of scents. So I don't know a lot about chai. But to me, this smells a little bit like cozy chai. But I think I like this one. I like it in different ways. I mean, you can smell that white pumpkin. It's a little bit different than traditional pumpkin. It smells a little fancier. But this is pretty good. It was in the Harvest collection. You can definitely smell a cinnamon presence, so that's probably why they put it in the spice. And it's not a bakery cinnamon. It's a little more intense than that. So pumpkin chai, definitely have to like cinnamon. The pumpkin is a white pumpkin, so a little bit different. And then the chai is like a medley of spices, I believe. So yes. Welcome to the catalog, pumpkin chai. Welcome back, pumpkin cinnamon swirl. This is an old bar that I have. It's beautiful. They put this in the spice section, but it could also be in the bakery. It's so good. I love it. Okay, says fresh pumpkin garnished with cinnamon stick and a dollop of whipped icing. So the easiest way to describe this is if you had a Cinnabon at the mall and you made a pumpkin version. That's to me what it smells like. Fluffy, doughy pumpkin with the drizzle of the cinnamon. Sign me up. This is a really nice one. Pumpkin cinnamon swirl. I love it and I'm glad it's back. Another one I really like is pumpkin roll. And this one is in the bakery section. Scentsy describes pumpkin roll as creamy pumpkin pie filling surrounded with yellow cake, pecans, butter, and spice. So there's a nuttiness to this, but there's definitely a medley of pumpkin spices. You get a bakery note from that cake, and you get that pumpkin middle, and then like a drizzle. To me, I always think this is a little more spicy than pumpkin cinnamon swirl, but some people say the opposite. This is a little bit more richness to it, and more complexity. That one's more bakery to me than this, but they're both excellent. So this one is fairly strong, and pumpkin cinnamon swirl is also fairly strong. So those are both really good ones. Highly recommend. The next one we have is from the Scents of the Season collection. It is Red Berry and Spruce, and this is the packaging that I have from there. So it'll be new packaging when Scentsy brings out this bar, and it's a very sweaty bar. So this would be in the wood section, and I'll read you the notes. It is a merry mix of cranberry and raspberry swirled with a sprig of blue spruce. Now to me, this is more of a twist of Be Merry. So Be Merry was like a deep berry cranberry mix with woods. This is more of almost like a gentle, I think it's birch. You know the bark on a birch tree? You can almost smell something like that with the spruce, and then a little bit of the berries are very airy in this one. Almost like an airy tone to the berry. I think I got a little bit on my nose. So Red Berry and Spruce, I would say medium to medium light in intensity. So if you find Be Merry too strong, this might be an excellent alternative for you. And longevity, I think it's not too bad, but it changes as it goes. So it feels like it's dropping off, but it kind of goes quite a bit at a woodsy note. So that is Red Berry and Spruce. The next one we have, I don't have a bar form, but I have a big old brick. So this was from the Holiday Brick Collection. It's Salted Caramel Toffee. So I figured rather than smell the tiny little tester, might as well smell the big brick, because I did have this one handy. And this one is in the bakery section. Scentsy says, the sweet scent of salted caramel takes melted toffee and butterscotch to new levels of indulgence. Yeah, this almost reminds me of the note that you would have got from that caramel sugar cone. It's a caramel rich, but it's not super cloyingly sweet. It's kind of like a rich, buttery, and the salted part, I think, brings it down a notch from being overly sweet. But it is still very, very sweet. But this is an excellent mixer. So if you want to add a caramel note to something, then this will be the way to go. So about a medium intensity for me. So that's Salted Caramel Toffee. All right, we have a new release here. We have Scarlet Sunflower, and this is almost like a burnt yellow orange wax. In the fruity section, Scentsy says, juicy apple and a hint of red cranberry are brightened by a scarlet sunflower, turning to face the sun. So first sniffs again, I'm excited. We have a sunflower growing downstairs in our kitchen. It's not turning to face anything, it's almost dying, but anyway. Okay. This definitely reads a little bit floral to me. That's what I get first. I feel like that's mostly what I'm getting, but it's I guess there's a little bit, what does this have in it? Apple and cranberry. It smells a little bit waxy, floral. A little bit of, not an intense apple, like nothing like Johnny Appleseed and nothing, like the cranberry is probably more of an airy cranberry, not a deep, dark, you know, rich cranberry. So yes, almost like a bright, juicy apple. What kind of apple does it say? Juicy apple, it doesn't say what type, but I feel like it's sweet and crisp and juicy, but not overly like strong in scent. And then a little bit of an airy cranberry and then a floral. So this one is light to medium for me. That is Scarlet Sunflower. Not really what I was hoping for, but I'm looking forward to getting my bar and trying it out. All right, the next scent is a big love of mine. It was a former club scent for me, and it is Silver Bells. I love, love, love this one. It's in the fresh category. It says mint candy canes dance over warm and welcoming winter pear, all enveloped in a velvety blanket of caramel and vanilla sugar. So this is a very well-rounded scent. It's a little bit body care. It's beautiful. The mint is softened by the other notes, the warm vanilla sugar, the sweetness of the pear. It doesn't even, you wouldn't even know there's pear in it unless you read the notes, but this is really nice in a bedroom. I love this one. Outstanding in the car bar when I had it, outstanding in the scent circle when I had it, and I love this so much. So if you pick it up and you end up liking it a lot, let me know. It's a softer scent, but very long lasting. The next scent we have is Snowberry, and this one has white wax with a pretty patterned front. Let me see if I can find this one. It's in the fruit section. Scentsy says luscious blend of loganberry, strawberry, peppermint, and zesty cinnamon. So it's definitely a fruitiness, and I definitely get a mintiness. Only once did I ever smell cinnamon and it didn't smell zesty. So the scent description on this is kind of not, but there's definitely, sometimes when you smell it, you can even smell a little bit of a tree note, but you definitely get the berry. I'm not really sure what loganberry is, but you get like a berry medley with a brightness from the mint. And here today, I'm actually picking up a tiny bit of a tree note. No cinnamon. So Snowberry, it's well loved. It's been around for a long time. I do find it holds up okay in my open layout. I haven't worn this in a while, so I will definitely revisit this one this year, and that is Snowberry. All right, the next two we have are new releases. The first one is Spiced Ember Glow. This one says, it's in the spice category. It says smoked apple and toasted vanilla over cinnamon embers offer a warm and inviting escape. I didn't say that very well, but basically we have smoked apple, vanilla, and cinnamon embers. Spice Ember Glow. Very dry, very dry. Not very strong. My gosh, come on. I need a strong one. It's pretty though. It's a nice balance. I don't get a lot of smokiness. This reminds me of something. What does this remind me of? I don't know, but I like it. I just hope it's going to be strong enough. It's a little bit sweet. What does it have in it? Smoked apple. I get a little bit of smokiness, but perfectly done. Vanilla, I guess, maybe like a drizzle of vanilla. And cinnamon embers. Definitely get the cinnamon embers. This is really, really nice. People might be missing Cozy Fireside this year. I don't know if this will replace it for you, but you might still want to give it a try because it is pretty. It's just very, very light, so I'm hoping this gets stronger. Spiced Ember Glow. I like it, I just need to smell it. The next one we have is Tinselberry. Tinselberry's in the fruity section. It's brand new. It says strawberry and cranberry dipped in cinnamon and sweet sugar for a little extra sparkle. Strawberry, cranberry, cinnamon, and sugar. This one is not so dry. Oh, I definitely smell strawberry. It's a little bit of like that waxy kind of strawberry tone. Sometimes when you mix a strawberry with a vanilla, that's what happens. The cranberry is kind of taking the back seat to me. And it says sweet sugar. I definitely would probably say that's there because it reminds me a little bit of like a lip chap. But more definitely like sugared strawberry, dial it down a notch by adding in vanilla and a sugary glaze, and you don't really get a lot of cranberry to me. Yeah, that is Tinselberry. That's about a medium, maybe a medium light. We'll see how that one does. We have Vanilla Mint. This is returning, and this is in the fresh section. Scentsy says wintergreen frost sparkles over vanilla and frozen citrus. I really like this one. Puts me in a good mood. It's very different from all of the mint scents that we have and all the vanilla scents that we have. And I think what it is that frozen citrus must be something special or something. Yeah, it's soft. It's pretty. I went on a Scentsy event and the lady sitting next to me smelled really good. And I said, you smell really, really good. What are you wearing? And she said, don't tell anybody, but I take the room spray and I spray it and then I walk into it. I said, well, it's working for you. So she smelled terrific and I actually picked up the room spray myself. This is a really nice one and it's great in a bathroom. It's very long lasting in a small space. Don't try to put this in a big space. You won't smell it. Put it in a small space where you can enjoy it. Highly recommend. It's a good one. Vanilla Mint. All right, next we have Very Merry Cranberry. This one is in the fruit section. And Scentsy describes this one as lush red winter berries pop against a backdrop of snow-covered cedar, creating a lovely winter landscape. So I'm just going to tell you off the bat, I basically get like a very, when I say flat cranberry, I'm not trying to be like insulting or anything. It just doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It's a very flat, neutral scent. So it's kind of like what you see is what you get. You get a little bit of a tang, like a little bit of tartness, but it's definitely cranberry and it's tart and sweet. And there's just the tiniest bit of tree, barely any tree. So if you're scared of tree and you really like fruity, tangy, cranberry type scents, then Very Merry Cranberry is what you want to go with. Okay, so we have Very Snowy Spruce. This is the other basic tree scent that we have. This is a bestseller in the woods section. Scentsy says, breathe in fresh forest air, balsam spruce and cedar branches embrace the warmth of amber and woodsy pine cones. Those are a lot of tree notes. And I think the amber kind of sets this apart, whereas the peppermint and iced pine sets it apart. The amber sets this apart. It gives it a little bit of an airy, not quite perfumey note, but almost like an airy sweetness, a little bit of brightness. Yes, and then you get a medley of tree notes that are very well balanced, and it doesn't scream intense tree needle. You kind of get a little bit of the bark, and I think that's coming from the pine cone, so that's a really nice one. Not a favorite of mine. Like I said, I prefer iced pine, but this is definitely the fan favorite for most people. Speaking of fan favorite, we have Winterberry Apple Tea. Most people really, really, really like this one, and it is in the best seller category this year. Scentsy says winter tea cozies up to cranberry, apple, and honey. This is a really nice scent. It's a really nice balance between the cranberry, the apple, a little bit of spice, and maybe there's a tea note. I don't get an obvious tea note. It just works really well together. Let me just smell something else here for a second. No, I was gonna say maybe spiced ember glow smelled a little bit like this, but not really. Winterberry apple tea is really nice. I like it. And this is nice mixed with a bakery as well. And last but not least, we have True Love Awaits. This is a Disney fragrance, and Scentsy says, enter a kingdom where enchanting ripe raspberry, sparkling mandarin, and a kiss of sweet vanilla write the perfect fairy tale ending. So this came out a few months ago, and now it's made its way into the catalog. I have a partially used bar here. And it's definitely a fruit, like the raspberry. And what else did it say? Mandarin. I get like a raspberry and a floral. And it almost reminds me a little bit of Angel 624 and a little tiny bit of Cloudberry Dreams. Maybe even a little bit of Berry Bright. If you like any of those scents, then you might like True Love Awaits. So that is a fruity, but I get a floral with it. They don't mention floral, but I do. And I would say this is a medium, and it's a little bit of a bright, pick you up kind of scent. So before we go, I'm gonna break off and grab my discontinued list, and we will talk a little bit about the scents that did not make it in this year from last year. Okay, so I have my old catalog, and I went through and I put an X next to the ones that I did not see come back. So hopefully I don't miss any as I speak. These are the ones that did not make the cut into this catalog from last fall winter catalog. So we have Apple and Oats, that's not coming back. Blood Orange Spice did not make it. Brownie Batter, which was a very dark chocolate scent, did not make it. Candied Cranberry Pecan is gone. Christmas Cactus is gone. Cozy Fireside was the big shocker for me. That one has been around for so long. I do have a customer that'll probably be a little bit heartbroken. Cranberry Garland did not make it back, so that's a little bit of a surprise as well. Evergreen and Grapefruit. Honey Pear Cider, not coming back. So hopefully if you love any of these scents, you have them in your Scentsy Club. I'm snow over it, just for you. Lemon Verbena is actually retiring from the previous catalog. Probably shouldn't include it here. Perfect Pumpkin Pear did not make it back in. Pretty and Plaid, which is a brick from last season, did not make it in. Sheer Leather, again, it was in last fall and winters, but it's just retiring now. Sorry, I probably should have mentioned that. Slay All Day is not coming back. Snow Kissed Cranberry, again, another brick. The first brick to sell out did not make it back. It could be that so many people brought bricks that the sales at the bars went down. I don't know. And Stroopwafel Delight, a very strong bakery that I'm a little bit surprised does not see come back. So there you go. Hopefully it was a concise but in detailed video. If you like this kind of video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new and you like to hear about Scentsy content, please consider subscribing. Let me know what you think of the new catalog layout and the scents that they've chosen. If you have any heartbreaks, put them down in the comments below. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.